Hello there and welcome to this week's Weatherquest farming forecast, and welcome to the start of meteorological autumn as well. So although we've had a relatively settled couple of days with that high pressure sitting over us over the past few days, August as a whole has actually been relatively unsettled and quite a wet month. This here is the August rainfall anomaly as estimated by the radar, and you can see much of England, Wales, southern parts of Scotland, much of Ireland as well has seen above average rainfall. Those blue colours there showing above average rainfall. And you can see many places, although it's quite hit and miss, not everywhere saw this, but some places seeing 2 or 3 times, if not more, their normal August rainfall. And that was to do with those heavy thundery showers that we saw developing places. So location to location, vastly different rainfall amounts. Some sides of farms seeing over 100 mil in an afternoon, some seeing almost nothing at all due to how localised those thunderstorms were. But yeah, generally a very wet month for August. Northern Scotland and far eastern parts of East Anglia and southeast England did get away with being relatively dry. Those places seeing drier than average conditions. But over the past couple of days, it has turned more settled. It has turned cooler. There has been some chilly nights. These are the overnight minimum temperatures. Just a snapshot from last night. You can see many places under those clear spells getting down into the single figures. Some places getting down to 2 or 3 degrees by first thing this morning. So quite a chilly night for much of the country. And it's been quite chilly by day as well. These are the daytime highs on Saturday, the Saturday just gone. And we had that northerly flow bringing that cooler air down. You can see many places with that cloud in the eastern half of the country seeing highs of 13 or 14 degrees. For example, Andrewsfield saw a high of 13.8 degrees, which is its coldest August day since the weather station opened in 1997. So very cold, well, a chilly couple of days it has been over the weekend, and chilly to say that it is still only August at least. But although there's not a huge amount of rain around at the minute, you can still keep in touch with all the latest hourly weather observations from all the official weather stations with WQRadar. When there is rain around, you can of course get 5-minute rainfall radar as well as lightning observations and alerts as well. So check that out, go to wqradar.co.uk and you can sign up there. So looking ahead to the forecast for the next few days, this is the jet stream. At the minute, we are under a little bit of a ridge of high pressure in the east today, but that's soon going to change as this more active area of jet stream pushes eastwards, pushing low pressure across the country during the middle part of the week. So turning more unsettled for Wednesday, late Wednesday into Thursday. And you can see by the weekend, there's this trough out to the northwest, high pressure down to the northeast, high pressure down to the southwest, and this is area of jet stream pushing southwards across the country. So in a bit more detail, this is Wednesday morning. High pressure starting out in the southeast, so relatively dry. Another chilly start to the day in the southeast on Wednesday, but it should be dry with plenty of sunshine around as well. But you can see this area of low pressure out to the northwest, pushing rain and those tightening isobars eastwards, so turning windier across the country, and you can see that rain pushing eastwards, clearing parts of southeast England late in the day on Thursday. So a wet day on Thursday for the south. It should turn brighter further north, but there will be some showers around as well. The real tricky question for later in the week is what's going to happen with this little area of rain out to the south of Ireland on Thursday nights. And as it moves eastwards during Friday, there's a little bit of uncertainty as to how far north that might push, but looks like it will push eastwards across southern parts of Britain, bringing some patchy rain before then we get into this northwesterly flow, and that could just bring a few showers as this area of low pressure comes down the North Sea. So the biggest uncertainties for Friday with that little area of rain that moves eastwards, and it's worth definitely keeping an eye on the forecast over the next couple of days as to how that might change. But you can see high pressure waiting out in the wings in the southwest, ready to push through and bring a more settled feel to the following week. In terms of spraying, Wednesday's looking good to start under that little area of high pressure still hanging on with light winds and staying dry. So plenty of green colours, the ideal spraying conditions to start on Wednesday. But you can see as that low pressure pushes through, we get that tightening of the isobars. It's going to turn quite breezy, so not great for spraying for Wednesday, perhaps Thursday. But there could be a few opportunities towards the end of the week in the south, a few bits and pieces there for getting some spraying done. But Wednesday looking the best day across southern England. So the best way to keep in touch and on top of the forecast is to ring our forecast hotline, speak directly to one of our forecasters every day from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. With the number on the screen there at £1.55 a minute plus any network access charges. So looking a bit further ahead into next week, this is an ensemble forecast of the sea level pressure for Bedford. You can see at the minute relatively high pressure. There is that little dip on Thursday as that front and area of low pressure comes through. But generally you're seeing pressure staying relatively high. Bit of the uncertainty on Sunday, Monday. You can see those bars spread out a bit further apart. And that's through that little area of low pressure coming down the North Sea, which could bring a few showers for Sunday, Monday. So again, one to watch for that period. But you can see after that, pressure continuing to rise through into the middle part of next week. So it really looks like it's going to be relatively settled next week. Got that high pressure ridging in from the southwest. It's really towards the end of next week into the weekend after and the following week where things look like they could turn a bit more unsettled, a bit more changeable. You can see there is a bit more of a spread in the outcomes. All the different model runs doing something slightly different, but they all have that downward trend into the weekend of the 12th, 13th of September. So becoming more unsettled then, but the first part of that week looks to be relatively dry with high pressure around. In terms of temperatures, it's obviously been quite chilly over the past couple of days, and if your ideal temperature is between 15, 20 degrees, it looks like it's going to be a pretty good week from that point of view. You can see relatively good confidence for temperatures staying in that range throughout the week. It's only really Thursday, once we get a bit of a southwesterly and some warmer air coming through, we could see temperatures get up to 22, 23 degrees in the southeast, but otherwise staying on the cooler side with temperatures struggling to get into the 20s on most days. So looking a bit further ahead out for the rest of the month, this is the pressure anomaly for next week. You can see showing below average pressure over the UK and parts of Western and Northern Europe, and that's as that low pressure comes in towards the end of the week, so bringing some rain there. But further east across Eastern Europe, a signal for higher than average pressure. And in terms of how that's reflected in the rainfall, you can see across eastern parts and southeastern parts of Europe, generally below average rainfall. As that low pressure comes in, bringing some wetter conditions to France, Spain, western parts of Scandinavia, and perhaps parts of the British Isles as well, if we see that rain come in for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, towards the end of the week. As that low pressure comes in from the west as well, it will also bring some cooler conditions to the British Isles and actually across France and Spain by the end of the week and around the Baltic Sea to start. Elsewhere, warmer than average, initially warmer than average in France and Iberia, but then becoming more confined to Eastern Europe with the cooler air coming in behind that. So above average in temperatures, particularly in the southeast. Looking ahead to the third week of September, we've got this generally signal for lower than average pressure from Iceland through to the southeast. So across many central areas, below average pressure. Elsewhere, out to the southwest and to the northeast, there's two areas of higher than average pressure that will generally bring below average rainfall to both Iberia and northeast Europe, respectively. But you can see those central areas, a good signal for wetter than normal conditions, and perhaps across parts of the British Isles as well, particularly northern areas, could see a slightly wetter than normal week. In terms of temperatures, with that low pressure in central areas, we'll see a more northerly flow to the west, so cooler than average across Western Europe. Further east, there's more of a southerly to the eastern side of that lower pressure, so above average temperatures for Scandinavia and parts of Eastern Europe. So a real east-west split in the temperatures there, with that low pressure generally in between. But into the fourth week of September, there's generally a slight signal for above average temperatures across southern and central parts of Europe, a more settled feel there. But you can still see there's those blue colours out to the north, so still a bit on the wetter side, on the changeable side for northern Europe, and it's generally reflected in the rainfall as well. Those brown colours showing below average rainfall for many central and southern areas, but hints across Scandinavia and perhaps parts of northern and western UK and Ireland. We could see slightly wetter than average conditions, but very much in the middle ground between those two areas for us. In terms of temperatures, still warmer than average across Scandinavia and Eastern Europe, cooler in some central areas if we see that low pressure bring cooler air in, but elsewhere generally a hint of something slightly warmer than average. So to summarise for the UK, another chilly night tonight under largely clear skies. We have got that rain likely during the middle part of the week, and it will stay cooler as well. It looks like it will be drier for most of next week, with high pressure becoming more dominant, but then turning more unsettled again thereafter and staying for us on the cooler side as well. So thanks for watching this week's video. As ever, if you want to keep up to date with the forecast for East Anglia and the British Isles, you can follow us on our social media.